States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And then we're going to have Joyce bring our invocation.
I feel so honored to be here, especially on your employee recognition ceremony. Thank you for all your hard work. And because of a lot of times around Christmas, we say Jesus is the reason for the season. But now that it's almost Easter, He's really the reason for the season. So I'd like to read this little thing before I do the prayer. As Jesus hung on the cross, one of the last people he spoke to was a prisoner who was being executed alongside him. Even while suffering horrible pain, Jesus cared enough to forgive the man and promise him a place in heaven. Jesus wants to do the same for you. Just ask him to forgive your sins and become the Lord of your life. You can have peace with God and the assurance of a new life now and forever. I'm praying that the love of Jesus Christ will touch you and your family this Easter. May you find new life in him. Thank you so much. Please bow for the prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I know each of us was put here on earth to learn, to share, to love, and to appreciate your gifts. We are to give of ourselves. Help us to use the gifts we have received faithfully, using your grace. Lord, please give us discernment to know the right thing to do and the courage to do it. Please bless our community, our supervisors, our leaders and decision makers, and these employees who are being recognized here today. And God bless America. In closing, let us remember 1 Peter 4:10. Each one should use whatever gift they have received to serve others faithfully, administering God's grace in various forms. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you very much.
God bless.
County Council?
At the March 10th, 2026 meeting following the closed session on agenda item 90-2026, the report out was inadvertently given as nothing to report, and it is being corrected to accepted resignation of the Director of Public Works.
All right, we will proceed then to roll call.
Supervisor Vasquez?
Here.
Supervisor House?
Here.
Supervisor Fuhr?
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford?
Here.
Supervisor Messick?
Here.
Thank you.
And now to consent agenda. Do we have any comment? All right.
Move to approve.
Second. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We will now move on to special presentations. Service awards for our Yuba County employees.
We're good to go now? All right. Chair, members of the board, good morning. Kevin Mallon, your Yuba County Administrator. Sorry, a little tongue-tied this morning. Anyways, I have the pleasure of being before you this morning and with all of the employees behind me to present our annual service awards. And so as a reminder to the board and to everyone watching this morning, this is recognizing people that made a milestone in their career here at Yuba County in calendar year 2025. So people that hit the 10, 20, 25, 30, 35 years of service here at Yuba County. And as an organization, we want to take time to thank them for their commitment to being a part of the Yuba County team, and then also their commitment to serving the communities here in Yuba County. And so this is an opportunity for the board to thank them for those years of commitment. So if I could could the board stand underneath the Yuba County logo? And then I'm going to start with 10 years of service and read those names. And they're going to come up, join the board for a photograph, and then we'll do the same for additional years of service. Let's see if I get this. Yep. All right. Thank you, Tony. So we'll, and when we do the photograph, Tony, yeah, you can do a photograph as well. Just kind of stand behind Rachel when she does it. All righty. Thanks. All right. So we're going to kick it off. So when I read your name, if you could come over to the table where Livette sat there, she'll have your certificate and awards. And then make your way up and to greet the board members, and then we'll do a group photo and this will be, so the first group is for 10 years of service. So could I have Twyla Williams come on up? Claudia Mendoza Valerio. Ji Yang. Jessica Garcia. Christina Leonard. Sarah Stewart. Mari Sanchez. Shannon Hamilton. Kara Palmer. Victoria Ray. Amanda Herr. Mary Pacias. Sarah Cervantes. Wade Sarian. Paying Lee. And last but not least, Stephanie Lucio. All right. So we have the line, and then we'll gather up for the group photo. Perfect. Yeah. Hey, yeah, on either side of the board members there, just kind of fill it in and. Hey, maybe on the other side there. Hey, maybe part of you guys go a couple more on that side. I think we'll kind of balance it out a little bit. Yeah. All
right. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Good job.
You got it.
All right. So normally we go in increments of 5. So we have 10, 15, then 20. 15 years of service, we have no one. And if you recall, that was 2010. The county was definitely in a different time, right? And so we definitely had a lot less hiring going on in 2010 than we do now. So we have no 15 years of service recipients, but we're going to move on to 20 years of service, and Tiffany Manuel's going to take it from here. All right, thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Tiffany Manuel, Human Resources Director. I'd like to take a moment to recognize a truly special group of employees, those who have dedicated 20, 25, 30, and even 35 years of service to Yuba County. These milestones represent not just time, but commitment, experience, and a lasting impact on our organization and our community. So I'll start with the 20 years of service. Chris McLean. Jennifer Phillips. Hua Yang. Daisy Hendrickson. Stacy Morris. Zhang He. Dan Burns. Jane Golden. Michael Hughes. Marie LaFranchi. And Denise Coleman. So those of you on this side, if you can scooch over just like the last group. Congratulations. Okay, we're going to move on to recognizing those with 25 years of service with the county. Starting out strong with Jason Roper. Angelica Klug. Dave Maddox. Maria Garcia. Tiffany Ellis. Tammy Turner. Valerie Hamas. Jamie Bartolome. And Jolene Harper. Congratulations again to everybody, and now on to our 30 years of service with Yuba County. Twyla Kardatsky. Eric Runge. Janine Freimark. And Tina Beeler. And finally, we have our 35-year honoree being recognized for many, many years of service to Yuba County, Terry Ayers. To each of you recognized today, thank you. Your years of service reflect a deep commitment to this county, to your colleagues, and to the people we serve. You've helped shape where we are today, and we are truly grateful. Thank you.
Okay, remember to say a few words.
Is there any public comment or board comment?
Through the chair. Hey, before you guys go, no, too late.
That's how dedicated they are. They're back to work. Back to work.
Sorry about that. It's okay.
Shows their dedication.
Dedication, back to work.
Where is your consent? Your consent.
All right, guys, we're still in session. So if you would please take your seats if you're staying. And if you're going to be talking, then probably want to go to the hallway.
Are you on the speaker?
It's really hard.
Mary, turn it up. Hit that gavel.
If we're going to be staying for the meeting, if you guys would please take your seats. If you're not staying, feel free to exit to the hallway.
Just call me up. I'll go do corners.
All right. We have a few more awards to give out.
Hello. All right, please clear the auditorium. Those of you leaving, please clear the auditorium. Thank you.
We have a proclamation for Warner Phillips.
Where's a Warner Phillips? Hello?
Have to work on that.
All right, testing. Warner? Could you come up, please? So we have a proclamation for Warner Phillips, who worked for the county for 4 years, correct? And then was on planning commission for 10 years. And so I'm going to go ahead and read your proclamation. Whereas Warner Phillips grew up in Northern California, spending most of his time in the Bay Area and Sacramento, and has lived in Yuba County for 40 years. Warner graduated from Tahoe Truckee High School and studied civil engineering at Sacramento State. And whereas Warner joined the Yuba County Public Works Department in 1986 as Public Works Director, where he served for 4 years before leaving the county service. In 2015, Warner was appointed to the Yuba County Planning Commission as a District 5 representative, where he served for 10 years. And whereas as a planning commissioner, Warner made significant contributions to the economic welfare of Yuba County residents through his support of the numerous impactful projects brought before the Planning Commission. His insightful comments regularly contributed to the accuracy of project surveying and conditions of approval. And whereas in this spare time, Warner intends to work on restoring his old cars, including a 55 Studebaker pickup and a 51 Willys Jeepster. Warner also plans to tend to maintain his 5.5 acres in his Loma Rica property. Therefore, be it proclaimed, the Yuba County Board of Supervisors hereby commends Planning Commissioner Warner Phillips for his dedicated service to the citizens of Yuba County and Community Development and Services Agency, and wishes him happiness and success in his future endeavors. So, this is the real one that I can't see. There you go. Okay, thank you.
Proclamation for the Red Cross. County of Yuba Board of Supervisors proclamation honoring March 2026 as National American Red Cross Month. Whereas during National American Red Cross Month in March, we celebrate the humanitarianism of Yuba County citizens by honoring our neighbors who make this mission possible. And whereas every day their acts of kindness change lives, bringing relief, comfort, and hope when help can't wait. Their compassionate spirit runs deep in our community, just as it has for 145 years through the American Red Cross. And whereas those who serve with their California Gold Country Region light the way during emergencies, whether it's delivering shelter, food, and comfort after disasters, providing a safe, life-saving blood supply for patients facing conditions like cancer treatments, childbirth complications, and traumatic injuries, assisting military members, veterans, and their families with 24/7 global support, or empowering individuals with skills like first aid and CPR that saves lives. And whereas in 2025, the Red Cross Gold Country Region team responded to 630 home fires, hosted 270 blood drives, provided service to 490 military families, and trained more than 35,780 people in first aid, CPR, automated external defibrillator use, water safety, babysitting, and other life-saving skills. And whereas these collective efforts are a powerful reminder that the strength of our community lies in our shared commitment to one another. As we mark American Red Cross Month, we celebrate our local heroes and resolve to continue lifting each other up so no one faces an emergency alone. Now, therefore, the Yuba County Board of Supervisors does hereby proclaim the month of March 2026 as National American Red Cross Month throughout the County of Yuba. In recognition of the important work done by the American Red Cross, we urge and encourage all citizens of Yuba County to reach out and support its humanitarian mission.
I want to say thank you so much for having us. Also, show off a bit of our local team. The team really has grown in the last year or so. We have a ton of just really committed, wonderful individuals who are a part of this mission. We are always also growing. So if you know of anyone that has an interest, has maybe a bit of flexibility in their schedule and wants to be involved in the community, we would love to have you. We have a phenomenal manager over our disaster services team. And like I said, the folks in this area are really just outstanding to work with. So feel free to come join us. We'd love to have you. You can look us up online or reach out to our local office, or I'll try to leave some flyers in the back as well. We also just recently started having blood drives in the last year, so look us up. We are just down the street a little ways, and we have quarterly blood drives. And then as just kind of a little note of our disaster team, we have one of our longtime 10-year-long local volunteer with the Red Cross and many other things. We just had a quick thought about his experiences.
Hello and thank you, everybody. It's always an honor to be here to receive this proclamation. As it's on behalf of the American Red Cross, I'm running with a little bit of a migraine headache today, guys. But on behalf of the American Red Cross, it's always been an honor to support and serve our community. And it's been a long haul for me for the 10-year run that I've been doing as far as deployments and supporting our local chapter. It's always an honor to work alongside some of you that may have been involved with us in sheltering. I know sometimes social services gets involved. So it's always an honor to be here. I like to say, back up Jamie on 100%, we're looking for volunteers of all ages. There's all sorts of different types of positions available. And we just want to, again, thank you for allowing us to be here another year.
And lastly, it was requested that try to plug in a silly joke that may or may not be actually funny. So, Tammy, do you happen to know what is the best thing about the American Red Cross? Well, you know, I don't really know either, but the emblem is a plus.
Thank you so much, Dad.
Red Cross. I had an event with you that brought me home from Vietnam in 1967 when my brother died. So thank you.
All right, we will proceed then to, I believe it is going to be Stephanie Younger of the Farm Bureau.
Good morning. Good morning, Chair, Supervisors, and staff. Thank you for having me here this morning to speak on behalf of the local agriculture community. My name is Stephanie Younger, and I'm the Executive Director of the Yuba-Sutter Farm Bureau. I've been there for about 3 years and work directly with growers and businesses to support our agricultural community. So I was invited this morning to speak about several issues impacting our local agriculture community. As you know, those in production agriculture face a wide range of variables beyond their control. This includes weather, input costs, market prices, regulatory pressures, tariffs, and these are just a few. In the Yuba-Sutter region, many of our top crops are commodities that require processing before reaching consumers. So for a lot of those growers, ownership of their product ends once it's delivered to the processor handlers. From there, those companies manage the sales and distribution of the crops. And the challenges that I mentioned above they directly influence the price that growers ultimately receive. We've recently seen how vulnerable this system can be. Just last month, the canning peach industry was significantly impacted by the closure of the Del Monte processing plant. This left thousands of acres of peaches without contracts, and very little time for the growers to pivot their operations. So then this brings up the question of what can be done to support the farmers and ranchers in our community? And the Farm Bureau was contacted by the chair asking kind of what we're doing. And is the Farm Bureau, do we help negotiate contracts, and do we have an impact in where the product grows? So I did want to share a little bit about what the Farm Bureau does. So for those that don't know, the Farm Bureau is a grassroots, membership-driven organization that represents the interests of farmers, ranchers, and rural communities. In the Yuba-Sutter area, we represent more than 650 farm families and agribusinesses. We work directly with producers across the diverse range of commodities. As you know, in the Yuba-Sutter area, or hopefully you know, we grow more than 300 different commodities. And each of those commodities have different needs, different markets, and different challenges. And so our job at the Farm Bureau is to work with those growers to help share their stories so that way we can bring attention to what's going on in our region. We say that our role is critical. We advocate, we educate, and we connect. So that's here at the local level. We are part of the State Farm Bureau that represents more than 21,000 members, and the American Farm Bureau that represents more than 6 million member families. At the state and national levels, we are part of a broader network that ensures agriculture has a strong voice, from water and land use to labor, air quality, and trade. Beyond Farm Bureau, beyond advocacy, we serve as a bridge. We bridge farmers to government, between agriculture and the public, and between local producers and global opportunities. We are deeply rooted in this community, and our priority is to ensure agriculture remains viable, competitive, and sustainable in the Yuba-Sutter region. A key part of that work is supporting trade and export opportunities, and I think this is why I was invited to come speak today. The Farm Bureau actively advocates for strong trade policy and market access at the federal level. This includes efforts to reduce tariffs, maintain and expand trade agreements, and restore access to key markets. These issues are especially critical for perishable crops, such as peaches, which cannot withstand prolonged trade distributions. We have also consistently raised concerns about tariffs, as well about issues like illegal dumping, where agricultural products are sold below market value. These challenges have created significant export barriers, especially for tree nuts and specialty crops. The Farm Bureau works to ensure policymakers understand these impacts. We regularly communicate how export interruptions affect local economies and emphasize the importance of stable, reliable international markets. We also organize advocacy efforts and encourage farmers to engage directly with legislators. Later in May, we'll be taking a group of our members to Sacramento to meet with our elected officials to address some of the issues that I've stated earlier. And we do encourage those stories to be told, because that's when legislators really understand the impact of the work that they're doing and how it affects our community. In addition, we also highlight ongoing challenges within the export system itself, such as shipping disruptions, port congestion, and raising freight costs. Advocate for solutions that keep products moving efficiently to overseas markets. California agriculture relies heavily on international markets, and instability makes long-term planning extremely difficult. So the Farm Bureau isn't a marketing board, but we do work closely alongside organizations such as the California Walnut Board, the Clean Peach Board, and various export marketing groups. These groups focus on building demand, promoting products internationally, and maintaining buyer relationships. The Farm Bureau supports their efforts by advocating for policies that allow those programs to succeed. We also support long-term market development through funding for export promotion programs, trade missions, relationship building efforts. And this is critical because once markets are lost, it can take years to rebuild. So I was asked specifically to talk about city sister relationships in their role in trade. Through research and conversations with California Farm Bureau trade representatives, this wasn't something that I was totally familiar with. So I did quite a bit of research to see how these sister cities could potentially impact our community, and if a county or a city was interested in pursuing something like that. So through the research, I found that sister city programs are designed to build relationships, not necessarily conduct trade directly. They focus on cultural exchange, educational partners, business networks, and government-to-government collaboration. Actual experts are handled by private entities, farmers, processors, exporters, cooperatives, and cooperative groups. So although a walnut handler in California, let me take that back. For example, a walnut handler in California may sell to a Chinese importer with the product shipped through the Port of Oakland and received by a buyer in the city. Where the sister city relationships do add value is in facilitating those connections. For some examples that we learned about were trade delegations, where they're between the two cities, there could be organizing visits that allow local producers to meet foreign buyers face to face, which is especially important in relationship-driven markets. Market access and introduction, helping connect exporters with distributors, navigate local regulations, and build credibility. Promotion of local products, showcasing regional commodities like walnuts, rice, wine, through events, expos, and food demonstrations, and institutional partnerships of connecting with ports, Chamber of Commerce, import-export organizations. So from what I researched, the role from the two cities in this format is to develop those relationships and potentially bring issues and solutions to some of the barriers to get the product into the market. But the exports has to happen through the businesses. So with that, I'm here to share that the Yuba-Sutter, the Farm Bureau and agriculture is deeply connected to global markets. As a community, we need to continue to support our farmers and ranchers by supporting policies, relationships, and infrastructure that keep those markets accessible and stable. And the Farm Bureau will continue to work at local, state, and national levels to advocate for strong trade policies and expanded international opportunities that benefit all commodities grown in our region. And we are happy to work with the board, with the growers, to identify those markets, to bring these messages to the local, state, and national level, to lead any efforts alongside with partnerships with the community, to bring new opportunities that maybe haven't really been explored before. With that, I will answer any questions.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. I did have one question about the Del Monte situation. So the word on the street, the gossip is that people are just going to be tearing out lots and lots of peach trees. Are there any other alternatives that are being brainstormed about, or is there any other talk about what people can do? Go ahead and tell me what the solution set is.
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago, there was a town hall where the Canning Peach Association came and addressed the Del Monte situation. And from what we are hearing, a lot of trees will be pulled at this time. There isn't a place to send the fruit to be processed. Like I mentioned, a lot of the commodities that we grow here, they require an additional step before they get to the consumer. And a product like peaches, it does not have a long shelf life. So at this time, there wasn't enough time to pivot to find a new processing plant, and a company like Del Monte, they are a large company. And I think what we're hearing on our side is that, even if there was a place to send the peaches, we really need to take a hard look at what is the market and what is the demand for this commodity. And on the global scale, where are other Canadian peaches coming from? And then it goes back to the conversation of what the Farm Bureau is doing, where we're advocating for policies, we're advocating for tariffs, we're advocating so that way our products can go to a global market and be competitive. So to answer your question, I think a lot of the trees will be pulled out, and I know that there are elected officials from throughout the state that are working to get financial support to the peach growers to be able to support them pulling out their trees and then potentially planting new commodities.
And this year's crops are just a complete loss?
That's
and so I don't know what the definition of the processing, the aspect that is. Like, can they just open up roadside stands and sell peaches directly, or no, there has to be something special that happens to peaches?
Well, without going too much into the weeds, there is a difference between cling peaches and freestone peaches. The canning peaches are cling peaches, so they have different characteristics. So they are not ideal for roadside stands.
Gotcha. So we would have to reinvent the canning tradition among our society for it to work.
Yes.
Gotcha. Thank you. Other board comment?
Through the chair. Stephanie, always good to see you. Thanks for coming and presenting on the PCP issues, or not PCP, the Del Monte food issues. How does PCP buying their assets, how does that affect our growers? Is that not giving them an avenue to offload to Oroville, or?
So I'm not here representing PCP or
Okay.
Del Monte. I'm here representing the Farm Bureau and the work that we're doing, which is kind of it's not completely connected to PCP and Del Monte. With that being said, PCP has like everyone has capacity, right? And so the PCP board has decided, they met and decided what is their capacity and how can they as a company support the growers while also being able to sustain their business. So they did buy assets of Del Monte. I am not really familiar with all of the details from that, but I can connect you to folks that can answer that.
Yeah, I was
question.
just reading that they are hoping to keep the Del Monte food line alive and the label alive. So I don't really know how you do that without those quality peaches. But
Yeah, and I think, with speaking to the quality of peaches, a lot of the growers had contracts with PCP and Del Monte, and so the practices don't change because of the company that you have a contract with. So I think the quality of peaches is we're not going to see any change there. PCP was very specific about the contracts they picked up, and I think that was in an effort to ensure that they had the top quality of crop and were able to fill any gaps that they had. And I think with buying the assets of Del Monte, there is that brand recognition. So PCP they don't have their own label. Like, you won't go into a grocery store and see Pacific Coast Producers, but you will see Del Monte. And so buying some of those assets that keeps the shelf space for consumers and that recognition. And so I think that was the reason behind buying the assets there.
okay, thank you again.
Through the chair. Thank you, Stephanie. It was a great presentation. Appreciate it. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We will move now to public comment.
Any person may speak about any subject of concern, provided it is within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors and is not already on today's agenda. The total amount of time allotted for receiving such public communication shall be limited to a total of 15 minutes, and each individual or group will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Prior to this time, speakers are requested to fill out a request to speak card and submit it to the clerk of the Board of Supervisors. Please note, no board action can be taken on comments made under this heading. And through the chair, we do not have any hands up on Zoom, but we do have one card from Tony Farley.
Yeah. Hello, County Council. You're here to temporarily leave Jan Bender. Thank you. Tony Farley, today's March 24th, it's my birthday today, my 31 birthday.
Happy birthday, Tony.
Yeah, but I look 16 by heart. Look, I'm still a shirt cadet by heart. The county shirt cadet. So thank you, County, Mr. Kevin. Thank you, the Honorable County Council. Your name is, by the way?
It's Kelly Smith.
Kelly Smith. You got a business card, hopefully? Business card?
I do.
You're a George graduates?
No. Golden Gate.
Golden Gate, Bay Area.
Yes.
I'm for Sacramento. Chairman set forward, Georgia graduate too, in law and accounting, both. He concentrates in tax. John Miss, the super stallion Italian lawyer, like Doug Moffa, Italian lawyer, no Italian horse, big horse, super stallion, Ferrari, Lamborghini. Gary Bradford, speaking of Sacramento, Gary Bradford is going to Sacramento, D.C. Take an airplane from Sacramento Airport to DC Airport for Captain Events for SACOG, right? I say right? Sacramento Area Council Government, SACOG. I say right. Supervisor house, a big house nearby the house over their house. And Andy Vasquez, the Marine Corps and VW and Reserve W for Yuba County. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Once a hero, always a hero. And thank you, Mary, for her awards. Mary got an award today. And thank you, the guy, the Hawaiian guy, the Hawaiian shirt guy. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Liu, her nice dress. Thank you, Sam, Public Works Director Sam, also known as Crossroad. Thank you, Jeremy, code enforcement, man. That's a bummer, man. I couldn't go on code enforcement right along. It's ridiculous. But imagine I did. I busted some pot growers with code enforcement in my dreams. I arrested them or DEA laws. Thank you, our sheriff and sheriff. And thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for your service. Thank you.
Since it's your birthday, Tony, would you help me with the next part?
Yeah.
All right. We have a special awards that we forgot for previous, so let me go ahead and add that now. If you want to award these awards, Tony, you'll be in charge of placing them, all right?
Yeah.
If I could please have Mr. Kevin Perkins and Mr. John Messick come up. They had a fantastic achievement, not merely years in service, but they in fact ran a 5K or a 10K in some cases and placed. And we wanted to recognize their amazing accomplishment. Can we hold the phone for you? Yeah. And so we will have Mr. Birthday Boy award that award first to John Messick, who got second in his category. And that was the 10K. And actually, I believe the path was measured wrongly, so probably more like 11K. And then we also have Mr. Kevin Perkins, who placed in his category, and I think he only ran the 5K. But congratulations to both of them. Thank you. Yeah.
Sir.
All right, we will proceed to county departments.
I will read the first one. It's agenda item 73-2026, Community Development and Services.
Kevin, you're not wearing your medal.
Adopt resolution certifying the final program environmental impact report for the County of Yuba Broadband Infrastructure Project, State Clearinghouse number 2025-010569, adopt findings of fact, adoption of the mitigation monitoring and reporting program, and associated documents. Thank you.
Not showing anything. All right, thank you, everyone. I'm Kevin Perkins, Yuba County Community Development. Before I jump into this broadband infrastructure program EIR discussion, I do want to say that I am pinch hitting. This project was previously managed by our former broadband project manager and housing project manager, Ian Scott. And so although I don't know all the specifics that he does, I have enough understanding of the project to hopefully get this past the finish line. So jumping in, what we have before us is an EIR, if your board certifies it, that will allow broadband projects, both underground and above ground, to be able to utilize this EIR to help make their projects faster, easier, and cheaper to get across the finish line through their CEQA requirement. Although your board has a good understanding of CEQA, just a reminder that the purpose of CEQA is effectively a disclosure law to disclose the project impacts to both the decision makers and
public to let them know what the impacts of the project so that people can make the necessary decisions with all the information. So again, the overview of this project EIR would allow, it's a programmatic EIR, so it would allow future projects to be able to utilize this document for its seed. And the projects that we're talking about that would be part of the program would be individual broadband projects that would install fiber optic lines either underground in buried conduits, overhead on poles, or a combination of both. So for the scope of this EIR, there is a depth of 12 feet for buried fiber optic lines, and then also a height of 150 feet for new towers. So any projects that meet within those parameters would be part of this program and could utilize this EIR. We anticipate that the majority of the future fiber optic lines that will be coming into Yuba County will be anticipated to be built in disturbed areas along county right-of-way and also in public utility easements. And lastly, again, this EIR would allow individual broadband projects to be able to utilize the CELA portion. So the program objectives of this EIR that were determined by staff were to be, again, I hate reading PowerPoints, but in this case, I'll be quick and read through these. Is provide access to a wireless broadband network in underserved areas of Yuba County, enable an increase in telecommuting and decrease in vehicle miles traveled, streamline the environmental review process for individual broadband projects that are implemented in the county, provide a reliable foundation of data and acceptable methodology to assist impacts for any specific broadband deployment projects, identify known environmental and cultural assets to be protected and restored with an approved set of preservation measures. And lastly, again, save time, money, and both for county broadband projects, which would help reduce staff time to have to write our individual environmental documents for this project. I did mention that projects would be subject to this, even though that met the parameters, even though this covers the broad aspect of environmental impact report. Each project would have to come and meet a individual checklist to see if they are subject to any of the mitigation measures that are included in the EIR. If they are, then they would be subject to potentially providing a biological report, or have a biologist go out to the site to do a biological report, cultural resource specialist to go out and do a cultural resource report on the site to make sure there's nothing out there. But again, those individual reports won't be put into a document that someone needs to write. It just goes into the project file, and right here is a CEQA timeline of what we've done so far. The county has prepared a notice of preparation. I'll jump into some more specifics in the next two slides. But that notice of preparation, which is the first part of an EIR project where we get feedback from the community on what they'd like to see addressed in the EIR, was done last January. After that, the county did prepare a draft environmental report, taking any feedback that we received, and prepared the document. We did a 45-day review period that ended in September 15th of 2025. We did hold a hearing at our planning commission. Didn't receive any public comments at either of the meetings. I'll jump into these next slides. Again, we held a notice of preparation scoping meeting February 3rd. At that time, it was held via Zoom. We didn't have any comments from anyone on the notice of preparation. And as I mentioned, again, we did hold a draft EIR public review from August 1st, 2025 to September 15th of 2025, and then a hearing with our planning commission. We did not receive any comments at the planning commission meeting for the draft draft EIR. However, we did receive 2 comments from the public. One was from Caltrans, which said if there's any projects within the right-of-way that they need to get an encroachment permit. And the second was from the Native American Heritage Commission, which wanted to let us know that projects were still subject to AB 52, which is the Tribal Cultural Resource Consultation, which we knew that that was the case. You know, in 20 years of working with CEQA, this was probably the most contentious EIR that I've ever been part of. 2 comments. Typically, you have attorneys and comments, you know, the size of a book on EIRs, and in this case, we had 2 letters. Again, as I mentioned earlier, there are areas in the EIR that the projects will need to follow. So as part of the checklist, we'll make sure that aesthetics, air quality, biological resources, cultural resources, hazardous and hazardous materials, noise, transportation, tribal cultural resources, wildfire are all addressed on the individual projects. There's mitigation measures in the CIR that each individual project would be set. And lastly, you know, again, before I end my presentation, questions, I do again want to thank Ian Scott. I think this was a nice parting gift as his role as broadband project manager of helping get broadband easier and more affordable in our community. It seems kind of funny that a EIR like this, you know, be that helpful, but it truly is. It really saves a lot of time and effort for providers. And also, I'd like to thank the water agency. This project wouldn't have gone forward without the grant that the county did with water agency. So I do want to thank the water agency for their financial impact on this project. So lastly, CDSA requests that the board adopt the resolution to certify the final program EIR and or for the Yuba County Broadband Project. I'm here to answer any questions if you guys have it.
Any questions?
No questions, just a comment. I also wanted to thank Ian for his hard work on this and CDSA for your leadership and foresight to get this taken care of. I know this board appreciates every opportunity that we have to make things easier and cheaper when it benefits our residents. So thank you.
Any public comment? Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, guys.
We will move on to the next item.
Agenda item 131-2026, County Administrator, approve employment agreement with Brian Mickelson to serve as Yuba County Public Works Director and Road Commissioner.
Good morning, Chair, members of the board. Kevin Mallon, Yuba County Administrator. So the item I have before you this morning is a result of the resignation that that's what started it. The resignation from the current Public Works Director, Sam Bunton, which the board accepted. And as the board is aware, I met and conferred with you on my recommendation on filling that vacancy with our current Deputy Director of Public Works, Brian Mickelson, and appointing him as the Public Works Director and Road Commissioner for Yuba County. So the item before you today is our standard employment agreement we have with at-will department heads. It's our standard agreement, as I mentioned, and it outlines kind of the terms of employment in that new role. And I'd be happy to answer any question the board has about the employment agreement, or Brian. Brian's here if you'd like to ask him any questions or have him say a few words as well.
We at least get him to stand up.
All right. Brian, you want to come up to the other podium?
There we go.
All right.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. Brian Michelson, new Director of Public Works, if approved. I want to thank you for this opportunity. I want to thank CAO Mellon for his recommendation appointment for me, and Sam Bunton for what he's done in this position previously. So I look forward to working with you, and it's an honor to do so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Through the chair. Thank you, Brian, for stepping up. We need more people ready to lead when the opportunity presents itself, so appreciate it.
Thank you.
Move to approve the employment agreement with Ryan Mickelson.
Great. Any public comment? All right, we have a motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you.
And the library.
Next agenda item is 138-2026, Community Development and Services. Approved library budget adjustment requesting the amount of $600,000 increasing account construction in progress from account number Quality of Life Trust. Does require 4/5 vote.
Morning, everybody. My name is Sandeep Sidhu. This is Jason, is the manager for the library renovation.
Morning.
So the library is requesting board approval for $600,000 adjustment to the construction in process account for the library renovation project funded by the Quality of Life Fund. In October 2024, the library began its first major renovation since the building was constructed in 1976. This project started with the help of a California State Library grant and was expanded to address decades of deferred maintenance and modernize the facility for our growing community. So far, the renovation has made significant progress, updated infrastructure and improving the overall environment for both patrons and staff. However, as construction has progressed, we've identified several critical improvements necessary for the project's long-term success. These include ADA compliant shelving, furniture and self-check outstations to enhance public spaces and patron services. Other critical facility needs include HVAC upgrades, replacing rerouting ductwork to improve efficiency and air quality, and installation of fire service line connections to meet updated safety codes, as well as replacement of aging sewer lines to ensure reliable building operations. Additional funds will cover these essential upgrades and meet updated safety and operational standards. This funding will come directly from the Quality of Life Fund with no impact on the general fund. The total projected non-grant costs for this fiscal year are a little over $1.1 million, of which roughly half was already included in the recommended budget. This adjustment covers the remaining amount. Approval ensures the renovation remains on schedule, delivers a safe and modern library, and provides lasting value to our county residents. Jay and I are happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Through the chair, I have a question, but I think it's for Kevin. So what is the Quality of Life Fund? How much is in it? And how do we access it? What's it used for?
Right. So if I could, through the chair, just to give a little background. So we have our countywide development impact fees. I got turned off. There we go, back on. So the countywide development impact fees, which I believe have been presented to the board previously, and I think we have an update that'll be presented here in the near future. But regardless, so by background, as the county grows by number of residents or number of businesses, we collect an impact fee from those new residences and businesses, and there's multiple categories. Some of those funds are set aside to do expansion of our transportation facilities, to expand, for example, our sheriff's facilities, and then we also have a subset we call our quality of life, and it's to cover parks and libraries. And so as we do this renovation project here at the library to expand it to meet our growing population and to kind of also for the library to evolve as demands for library services have changed over the decades, we felt it was appropriate to pull from this quality of life portion of the development impact fees for the particular improvements.
Thank you. And I guess you could tell me later how much is.
Yeah, I don't keep it in the back of my head for each of the subcategories, but there's still adequate funds in that quality of life fund for other park improvement and projects. And originally, the library renovation project, we were contemplating having to use 100% of our quality of life funds to cover the renovation project. Luckily, we landed this grant through the state library that's covered the vast majority of this project and enabled us this project to be much larger than what we originally contemplated. So this is actually a very nice, where we're just only using a small portion of the total project cost. Sandeep and Jay can probably kind of give you, the board, maybe a little more background on it, but this is a multi-million-dollar project and we're only using a small piece of it from local funds here.
Okay, and Sandeep did a great job, and both of you taking Andy and I on a tour, and our clerk of the board. So we got to see the progress of the library. Still a lot ahead, but they showed us their problem areas, and it was some unexpected things that came up. So yeah, good work on that.
I suppose my question is I think there was two different grants, if I remember. There was the first one, and then there was the extra that we got on top. Was this work that we're now doing this improvement for not identified for either of those prior stages?
So these, the additional funds we're requesting, it's for unexpected change orders. So Jay can...
We've had some change orders regarding our HVAC unit, the upgrade on that. We found out that there was old ductwork up above that needed to be replaced because the new HVAC was putting out additional pressures. And so we had to upgrade that. That was another $135,000 that we had not anticipated having to be done. We also had to, upon investigation, discovered that the underground sewer line of cast iron had pretty much rotted away after 50 years. So we went ahead and replaced that. And we've also had to, per mandate, upgrade the non-existent fire suppression system at the library. You have to install a complete new fire suppression system, which includes bringing the line in from 2nd Street all the way up to the building and then connecting to the new system that we've installed inside. So altogether, those dollar amounts have accumulated up to about $440,000 of additional costs that we really did not anticipate having to do.
And so those extra costs were costs that we would have had to have done regardless. They aren't because of the renovations. They were things that needed to be fixed.
Infrastructure, yes.
Okay.
Mandated.
All right, thank you. Is there any public comment on this issue?
Through the chair, just one more question. Is there any road work that's going to go on with that in Marysville? Are we required to pave out to the apron or have some maintenance agreement with them? No? No? I'm getting a head shake no from the...
Unfortunately, the grants only cover the interior of the library.
I just want to make sure, because I know after we did the healthcare expansion at the jail, we had a contract afterward to do some paving and things like that with Marysville. So, all right. Well, thank you.
They're always in the wings.
All right, I did not see any public comments, so I'll entertain a motion.
Budget.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
You got a roll call vote.
We'd like to do a roll call vote.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Yes.
Supervisor House,
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhr,
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford.
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll move on to ordinances.
If you challenge in court the action or decision of the Yuba County Board of Supervisors regarding a zoning, planning, land use, or environmental protection matter made at any hearing described in this notice, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at such hearing or in written correspondence delivered to the Yuba County Board of Supervisors at or prior to such hearing. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per individual or group. And through the chair, the first item we have is Agenda Item 144-2026, Community Development and Services, Ordinance Hold Public Hearing, Waive First Reading, and Introduce Ordinance repealing and reenacting Article 5 to Chapter 2.50, authorizing purchasing agent and Public Works Director or designees to perform all acts necessary regarding the acquisition of real property where the purchase price does not exceed $50,000.
Thank you, Mary. Good morning to the board. Sam Button, Public Works. Government Code 25350.60 grants the Board of Supervisors the ability to authorize county staff to facilitate the purchase of real property up to designated thresholds. The authority is effective for no more than 5 years. And currently, the Public Works Director and Purchasing Agent recently had authority up to $150,000, but that expired in February 2025 after that last ordinance was in effect for 5 years. Quick little background, many times public works, real property acquisitions are extremely small, as you may have seen in our Westland and Olivehurst projects. Sometimes as small as 50 square feet, which creates situations where the projects cost more than, or the projects that, or the property acquisitions, excuse me, I'm getting tongue tied. The properties cost more in staff time than the actual acquisitions cost. We are introducing the ordinance to repeal Article 5 of Chapter 2.50, which is similar to past ordinances, except for two notable changes. These changes are to lower the threshold from 150,000 to 50,000 and remove the requirement to return to the board prior to final acquisition with an agenda item under consent. The reason for this is for our typical small acquisitions, this will save weeks on project schedules and thousands of dollars in staff time per acquisition. And still maintaining the typical board approvals for the larger acquisitions. Happy to answer any questions the board may have.
All right. I would like to also open the public hearing and waive the first reading. Is that right? Any board questions? No. Then we'll proceed.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All right. With no public comment, I will now close the public session, public hearing, and we will hold the vote. We don't need roll call here? We do need roll call here.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Yes.
Supervisor House,
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhr,
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford,
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right. And we will move to board and staff member reports.
Well, I had was fortunate enough to get the Yuba-Sutter Emergency Medical Care Committee, which is held at the Bi-County Ambulance headquarters, which is, if you haven't had a chance to take a look at it, it's worth the drive over to Yuba City just to see the oak woodwork that's done in their office. But it was an interesting meeting. It was very, very quiet, and they had a couple of requests that with the water agency emergency, they'd like to have Yuba-Sutter Emergency Medical Care notified if there's any casualties or any hospital notification, and no unsafe services. So that they know where they're planning for, because the first thing they said is they had to figure out how many people were hurt and how many ambulances they had to have, and it just wastes time. So it was an interesting board meeting. That's about it.
All right. Busy in District 2. Met with Yuba College last week, their leadership, to try to discuss what their financial situation and strain is. Got to see how grant money was deployed in the past, things like that we discussed at last meeting, but gave us a little bit of, or gave me a little bit of insight. Was able to work on the Yuba Water Construction Authority. We got the management agreement, our construction management agreement signed for Tigert Construction. Met with Matt Mock from Yuba-Sutter Transit, the executive director, to discuss their challenges and changes with the federal government, kind of asking people to rewrite their grants and strip language that California requires out. And a lot of that money comes from the Federal Transit Administration. So it's kind of interesting. You have two different types of grant applications for different grants depending on where they're going, but the same project. Was able to participate in Transit Worker Appreciation Day, took some donuts over to the operator, Store Transportation Systems, or Store Transit Systems. They're the actual operator of Yuba-Sutter Transit. They have all the dispatchers, drivers, things like that. Spoke with those guys. They seem pretty happy, and it's a good operation. And then Regional Waste Management, we received our FY27 preliminary budget. And we also were presented with a long-term contract with Recology, which has been tabled to the next meeting. So just advise you guys to take a look at that and see if there's anything of interest to our county, and let me know as our serving board member. Last week, my on my high school front, our students are building a memorial bench for Officer Rodarte. It came out of powder coat last week, and it gets installed this Thursday. So we just encourage everybody that can show up to come out to Veterans Park at 8:30. It's going to be unveiled and dedicated at that point, and it's the end of watch time and day for Officer Rodarte, the anniversary of that. Then this weekend, we all attend, or not all of us, but a bunch of us attended the Buckeye Hostess Dinner and presented Tegan Jung with a small gift from Yuba County, just to let us know, or let them know that we appreciate them and honor the tradition. We did have the auditor with us, so we couldn't give him any money. Wouldn't allow it. And then I assisted the Hallwood 4-H Club building a fire horse Buckeye parade float, and they actually end up winning Best Themed, which is their Best of Show and Judges Award. And it was pretty cool. Then all of us got together to ride in a 57 Ford Fairlane convertible, which was nice to have our whole team there represented. And I wanted to say thanks to my buddy Vince for letting us use it for the day. And and also went over and celebrated the Buckeye Festival, had lunch at Silver Dollar, and got to watch the Dragons for about a half an hour destroy some cabbage and terrorize the restaurant. It's pretty good. Thank you.
Just wanted to say thanks again to all our employees for everything you do every day for this board and for the folks in our community and your fellow employees, and especially those that we honored today. I know they were in such a hurry to get back to work that we didn't get to share our appreciation with them from the dais. So just wanted to make sure that they hear that. It was great to participate with all 5 of us in the Buckeye Parade, and I want to thank Supervisor House for hooking us up with a sweet ride this time. That was pretty amazing. I think out of all the Buckeye pictures I think I've ever shared of the board on social media, that one probably got the most likes. It's probably because of the car. So anyway, that's appreciated. Also got to participate in the Buckeye run. I did jog a little bit. I didn't get a medal, unfortunately. I did place 8th, which sounds really impressive until you find out there were 12 in my category. But still, I think because I jogged a little, it was a personal best. And so that was pretty exciting. Last week was a SACOG board meeting. It was held in West Sacramento. For the last few years, SACOG has been holding 3 meetings a year off-site rather than at their office, and they go to one of the 6 counties in the region, and so every 2 years they make it out to every county. So we were in Yolo County and we were in West Sacramento, and the meeting was actually held at Sutter Health Park, which was kind of cool. And prior to the meeting, they always do a tour, and so we spent about 2 hours touring all the redevelopment in the riverfront area in West Sacramento and some of the other things around there. So that was really, really beneficial. RCRC is having a board meeting tomorrow, which I'll be at. And then in the afternoon after the board meeting, several RCRC board members will be headed over to the Capitol offices and we'll be meeting with Gallagher staff to talk about CMSP budget request related to HR 1 impacts to the county. So I'm excited to represent us in that. And then finally, I want to request the board close in memory today of Bob Coe, longtime Wheatland resident and city council member who was also serving as mayor this year. He passed away last Friday. So
Sorry to hear that. Who got 12th in your age group? I'll wait for Seth to get his comments. Okay, so yeah, we all had a very busy weekend with Buckeye. And on top of that, we also had a Yuba County booth at the home show in Yuba City. And I would really like to recognize 3 staff members who volunteered to fill in so we could actually go and do a lot of this Buckeye stuff. So Jacob Farmer and Pachia Vu both volunteered. I went and helped set up, and they did it Friday night. They did the entire thing. They went Saturday morning until 2, and then I went and took over. And then Tara McCann from the elections office went Sunday morning and manned the booth until 2, I believe. And then Seth and his wife went until I could get there, and then I closed it down and brought everything back. So I don't know how busy or not busy the home show was. I had quite a few people stop by and talked, and So I think we could do better next year. The home show was same weekend as Buckeye, so it wasn't, I don't think either one of them were very well attended because of the time of the year. But just really like to thank those employees that stepped up and did that. Let's see, like to thank Rennick, like you did, for providing the vehicle for the parade, and that was awesome. I think it was a really good showing that we did. And trying to remember what else I had here. Let's see. Sunday I attended the Gymkhana in Browns Valley. If you guys ever get a chance, it's the Spring Buckle Series. They would have one a month. It's really great watching all these kids and adults riding this in the different things they do for the Gymkhana. See. It's that time of year again. You guys are going to hear me every time talk about May 16th, the Yuba-Sutter Sheriff's Aero Squadron When Pigs Fly dinner will be held outdoors at the airport, Yuba County Airport. It's a great event, great fundraiser. We use most of the money to provide scholarships to sheriff deputies from Yuba and Sutter County to get their pilot license and then join our group. We'll pass. Oh, I wanted to add one more thing. Gary, don't feel bad about getting 8th. Yes, I got 2nd in the 10K, but there was only 2 of us. That other guy beat me by a little bit.
That's a nice fun fact there.
Yeah.
So I did have just one item to bring to the board's attention, and with the board's consensus, I'll work it out with the chair and vice chair at agenda setting next week. But we did have an item on March 10th that was Yuba Community College District. They had requested the board take action so that they could set up a separate district to be able to sell bonds in the Yuba-Sutter area. And go to the voters with that. They didn't present on the 10th. There wasn't a second on that motion. They reached out to staff afterwards and asked if they could present to the board on April 14th. I believe there's also an opposition group that asked to present as well. Typically, when there's an action item before the board, you have public comment, 3 minutes or at the chair's discretion. The opposition group wanted to present their own, I guess, presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, which is a little unusual. We haven't had that happen before, but I'll work it out with the chair and vice chair. Just wanted to make sure the rest of the board members were aware that you have kind of something unique on April 14th relative to the Yuba Community College District item.
Could I ask you a question about that, Kevin?
Yes.
So before, Tom McWhorter requested to do a PowerPoint, and we wouldn't allow him to put it in our computer, and because of security reasons. Are they going to be able to do that?
Well, that's what we need to work out, because on the resolution the board's adopted for kind of your rules governing for board meetings, it's not allowed, right? You have just your typical public comment period. It's 3 minutes. You get up and you speak your piece.
Right, but presentations are allowed to do PowerPoints.
So this would be, and that's I guess the quandary. You have an action item before the board that day, special presentations that are at a different time. So would the special presentation from the opposition be during special presentations?
Right, so we're going to be doing both presentations. Yuba College will be presenting, and then the opposition will be presenting.
No, the Yuba Community College District will present under county departments as an action item.
Okay.
That's a separate section of the board's agenda.
Okay, so then we will then delay that vote until after then we do another presentation by the opposition.
And that's why I wanted to bring it to the board's attention.
And so then they would be able to use PowerPoint like any other presentation.
Through the chair, I mean, I think having the chair and vice chair work it out would be good. I do worry about precedent setting, so I do appreciate your suggestion of not having a public group have the opportunity to give a presentation in opposition to something that's on the agenda directly. I think it's important that we retain that. I think the concept of having them doing that, we do allow various community organizations to present special presentations, and so having it under that section seems to be a more viable option to me, as I believe they may be with a community organization, and so if they are, then that seems like a legitimate use of that time to me, which usually comes before county departments, and so to Chair Fuhr's concern or question, the vote would happen after both were done, if that were the order that were to occur.
All right, thank you. That's all I had.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. It looks like or special presentations would be before county departments, so they just would have a gap between them.
So the only, I guess, follow-up I'd have or some consensus reached. So if we allow the group to do a special presentation and then we have a county department item, do we also allow the group to make comment on the county department?
That's why I'm saying that we would just move the special presentation, because we've moved things around before. We would just move the special presentation till after the county department item, and then we'll have the vote after the two groups have both spoke.
Again, we'll have to work it out, but I just wanted to make sure the board was aware, and we'll see how this goes. We don't want to set precedent, obviously, for future. This may, depending on how this goes on the 14th, we can revisit the resolution the board's adopted for rules governing for future board meetings as well.
County Council?
Nothing from County Council.
Clerk?
Nothing, thank you.
All right. Well, I wanted to say thank you to Feather River Baptist for representing today. I appreciated your invocation, so thank you. Tell Vince, thank you very much for the car. We did appreciate it. I'm still waiting for him to give me a lowball offer to sell it to me for. And we will be closing the meeting in honor of Bob Coe, but we'll be doing a recess first to our closed session.
Through the chair, sorry. I just wanted to get in here one more time. Our 35-year and 30-year employees, man, they don't have to serve that long. It's so awesome that they want to serve Yuba County. So I just hope everybody could take that back to their departments, is that these people are choosing to serve for that extended period of time when they could be doing a lot of other things. So congratulations to them, but thank them tremendously. So.
All right, a few things. Saturday, the acting company is having their fundraiser, so I all go to the Barb's Ball. Friday night is the rescue mission with their fundraiser. I encourage you to go to that as well. We've partnered with them on the 14 Forward, and so we're very excited to see what they do. Last night, I was at the Farm Bureau board meeting, and during our meeting with the Chinese ambassador on Saturday at the Buckeye, he passed along an invitation. I'm going to go ahead and read to you. It is recommended that the Yuba side provide a list of proposed export products along with relevant company and contact information so that we can assist in connecting with the Foreign Trade Department, associations, and enterprises with import needs in the Yunnan province. We welcome their enterprise to participate in the South Asia Expo and coming Export Fair held annually in June in Kunming for exhibitions and discussion. We hope that the Yuba side can share their import and industrial cooperation needs so that we can more effectively facilitate business connections and project implementation. So just following up that that relationship is bearing fruit and that we will hopefully increase market for our agricultural suppliers. So I was very excited about that. And then as far as the Buckeye, they asked me in honor of Red Cross Month to go ahead and bring up the rear so that I could capture anybody who in an older age group might have fallen. And so that's what caused my position and placement.
Through the chair, just another director comment. So there hasn't been a consensus to have a relationship with that province, correct?
There has not been an agreement by the board to pursue the Winshaw sister relationship. I am encouraged by the fact that they are inviting us with these trades opportunities to move forward in that direction. We do not have that yet. They've already offered these things. There's other programs that they're offering as well. So those are things that we can pursue.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because we did have a meeting. Seth and I on the what is it called? The
ad hoc.
The ad hoc for the Winshaw, whatchamacallit, the Winshaw sister city, and we don't have a consensus at this time. We don't have an agreement, and I wouldn't want to put the cart before the horse and have board action or
just letting you know that they've tendered an invitation. They've tendered an offer to increase cooperation and increase trade.
Thank you.
All right. With that, we'll recess for 5 minutes to 10:35 before we'll go into closed session.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.
Yuba-Sutter.LIVE. It's the truth that comes through.